Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. Our guest today is Rebecca Fenney, best known from Married at First Sight UK. But when we spotted her running around Hyrox Manchester, looking super strong, we knew we had to get her on the podcast. She's no rookie, she's already completed 5 Hyrox races across a mix of doubles and solo. So we want to find out more. We want to find out how the training's going, how she juggles a busy life with her love of fitness, and if she plans on competing in any more Hyrox and hybrid fitness events. Rebecca, thank you so much for making time for us, and
Hi, thank
welcome
you
to the
so much for having
podcast.
me. Hi, hello. Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to talk to you. I'm excited to talk about this side of my life. So thank you so much for having me on.
Oh no, you're more than welcome. I think it'll be a really good episode. And like we were just saying before we started, it'll be good to kind of hear your training, how you juggle everything, and also what got you into Hyrox. Have you always been fitness fanatic? Has that been something throughout your whole life?
I would say I've always been into sports. Yeah, so growing up and being in school, I was into athletics. I was always into track. And then I was always into team sports really. So I was that girl that did netball and hockey and Um but Hyrox was introduced to me, I would say in 2023, which doesn't actually feel like that long ago, given that I've competed in 5 of them. But in 2023, a partner of mine was competing in his first one in Glasgow. So Glasgow was the first one that I saw, and obviously that's such a cool race. Um, and I didn't know anything about Hyrox at the time. I don't think I'd even heard of it before he mentioned it. And obviously, I went to spectate, and from there, I was just incredibly inspired. Like, I'd never done that type of training before. I didn't even know what a wall ball was. Like, I had no idea about I had no idea about any of it. And I didn't realize even back in 2023 that it was so big. I expected to go to a small little venue and, but it was so well established even back then. And as I say, I was just like, this is something that I want to do. And I didn't necessarily know how to do it. I think at the time when I was in Glasgow, I had like imposter syndrome where I was like, this is so cool and I'd love to do it, but I never could. That was definitely going through my brain. And now obviously 3 years later, here we are. I've done 5. So yeah.
That's so cool. And at the time, so the time you went up to Glasgow and you were watching it, were you like doing any running, or were you at the gym? Were you just doing, what was your fitness like then? Were you just doing classes and things, or?
Yeah, so when I was 16, I got my first gym membership. My dad got me a gym membership, and I remember being 16 because I think I needed to be a little bit older, and we pretended that I was older just so I could get into the same gym as him. But my dad always sort of pushed me into sports, encouraged me on the track and things like that. And I think as I got older, I was like, look, I want to go to the gym and I want to lift weights, and that's something that has had a strong like current through my life since around the age of 16. I've always trained in a gym. From then I always did like strength and conditioning classes and hit workouts and anything that was kind of trendy at the time. So I was always very used to being in a gym space, and I was always very used to having exercise as part of my life. In 2025, I started running properly. I did a couple of half marathons, 10Ks, 5Ks. And that's probably when I was at the peak of where I was with Hyrox as well. But back in 2023, I was just going to a few classes, and I was going to the gym. So lifting weights was really normal for me, and I was very used to it. But seeing people on erg, seeing people throwing a ball, I was like, this is so different to me. And I think I was dabbling. I didn't really have a set split. I didn't, have a structure to my training. It was just something that I did. But yeah, Hyrox was so new to me then. Was just something that I just didn't think that I would be able to do, or that I didn't know how to step into it at that point.
Yeah, no, it's crazy, and it's grown so much like over the last like couple of years as well. Like the Manchester event just gone was across multiple days, like crazy.
Yeah.
There was so many people. Do you feel like more at home now when you go to an event? Is it like, okay, yeah, I know what I'm doing? Are you trying to like, are you setting yourself, sorry, goals in your training, working towards High Rocks?
For sure. I think you know, when I stepped into the arena in 2023, I was like a deer in the headlights, like, oh my gosh, I don't know what this is. But I think you very quickly understand, and you guys will be the same, that when you go to a Hyrox to compete in a Hyrox, there's no, don't get me wrong, it's a race, it's a competition, but you are there for yourself effectively, and anybody can do it. And so I quickly felt that deer in the headlight feeling go, because I found myself a Hyrox community here at home. I found myself a Hyrox affiliated gym and started doing classes there. And they completely embraced me as a newbie, as somebody who had a life within fitness but didn't know anything about Hyrox. And I think I very quickly became a Hyroxer then. And that's sort of advice that I would give to anybody, because people don't necessarily know where to start. Like, that was absolutely who I was. Like, I dabbled a little bit in stuff, but I didn't know how to tackle Hyrox, and I just found a community that embraced me. And then absolutely, I think when I've got a Hyrox coming up, my training is tailored more towards that. When I don't, I always slip back into wanting to lift the weights and not running as much, because it's where my passion lies. Like, I love being in a gym and lifting heavy weights, and I have always ran, but I wouldn't say that that's something that feels really, really natural to me, or something that I love. And don't get me wrong, Hyrox, at the end of the day, we all say it, don't we, that it is a running race. If you're a good runner, you're going to be good at Hyrox. So I really have to tailor my training more towards that when I have a Hyrox coming up.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And then, so when you did your first Hyrox, or maybe like the full five, to be fair, because you are
Mm,
more of a strength athlete, did you find all the like sleds and things okay, and the lunges?
yeah.
Because yeah, I feel like some people go into it and they're so worried about the sleds that you'd probably embrace that if you've got that background.
Absolutely. Like, I find the stations so much easier than I find the running.
Mm.
And I've competed with people before, and they're like, I just love the runs, and I'm running thinking, how? How do you love this part? And that's something that I've really got to dig deep with, because it isn't something that I absolutely love. Um, I love the feeling at the end of it, and I think, yeah, I've completed that. Like, good on you. I'm uncomfortable, and I'm completing things that I'm uncomfortable with. But I absolutely do find pushing the sled, pulling the sled, even like the wall balls, like pushing, throwing a weight up, I find that so much more comfortable. I've got a good level of flexibility. My squat depth is low. Like, I find all of that so much easier than I do running.
Yeah, I think you're probably the same as us. We're the same, aren't we?
Yeah.
We're like,
Oh,
like
really?
yeah, I think the same as you, just like a lot of gym work and strength work and
Yeah.
just good mobility, that like getting down into a squat depth in for the wall balls is fine. But yeah, the running
Yeah.
is the one that's like, yeah, I mean, you looked really strong in Manchester. Like you
Really?
stood
Do you,
out just because I thought your running form and you just looked so strong and you looked
oh,
happy.
that's so
So
kind.
yeah,
Oh,
it's really
thank
weird.
you.
Caught my eye like straight away. I think when you see some people that just look like they're finding it easy, it just looks smooth.
Oh, that wasn't
Um,
me.
well, yeah, you
I'm
did.
glad I look like that.
You've got a good like game face then.
Oh, thank you. I think maybe because it was my fifth one, I'm just used to it. I was like dig
Mm.
deep, you know what you're doing. When so the Hyrox that I did in Manchester recently, I did it with my partner that I did my very first Hyrox with. So she actually stepped in last minute for me. I was going to do it with somebody else, and they fell ill. So in the end, we were like, right, let's do it. We booked it in December and competed in the January. So it was a real sort of quick turnaround. And I think because we were competing together again, we said, look, let's enjoy this. Like, we've always put such pressure on ourselves to get a PB, whether that's been together or separate. And we were like, look, this is so last minute. Let's go out and have a really good time. We know what we're doing. We know what splits we're going to do. Like, we've trained together in the gym. Let's have a really good time. And I think that's probably why I did look like I had
Yeah.
composure. It was still killing me. It was still so hard, but I probably just looked like I was enjoying it more than maybe, I have done in the past. We had a good time doing it. We had fun doing it this time.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, it was awesome to see you there, and we were like, we have to chat
Thanks.
to you.
Oh, thank you.
But maybe we could touch on like the mental side a bit, because you've already said about kind of digging deep, and like, do you use training as like a bit of a meditation sort of thing, and then in the race, like, where does your mind go when you are digging deep, because it's not
Yeah,
just physical, it is mental as well.
absolutely. I feel if you train and you know that you can achieve it, it when it gets to race day, it is a mental thing, because you know that your body can do it. It's how you can set your mind to it. Um, to answer your first question, yeah, exercise has always been an escapism for me. And I was thinking about this the other day actually, is that exercise has always been there for me. And I know that might sound ridiculous, but I've been through some tough times in my life, and exercise has been the thing that I do to feel like myself, or to escape that, or just to have that, hour or 2 hours out of a day where I feel human again because of whatever's going on in my life. It's always been there for me. And I've always ebbed and flowed. So I've got quite an obsessive personality, I would say. So sometimes I'm so invested in training, and um sometimes I'll take a little step back, but it's still there. It's always been something that's been consistent throughout my life, and it makes me feel better, regardless of whether I'm racing, regardless of whether I'm competing, or do I've got anything coming up. It's always there for me. And that's what I would always say to other people as well, when people don't know where to start, or if somebody's feeling a certain way about themselves. I'm like, exercise, train, get yourself into a group of people that are like-minded, or go to the gym and put your headphones on. Whatever it is, it will be there for you. um I think I then take that into race day as well. I always think to myself, my body can do this, I've trained for this. I try and get the balance of going as hard as I can and feeling that pain, but also trying to enjoy it. And I think we got a much better balance of it this time, because we did enjoy it. And I think as I was running around with my partner, I was like, we're having a good time, like we're enjoying it. And where other times I've been like, oh God, this is so painful. Um, I think I did my first solo the race before, so my fourth race was solo. That was the first one. And I remember being on the wall balls thinking, I think I'm gonna faint. Like, I think I actually said to the judge, I'm gonna be sick. And I was like, I'm gonna be sick. And he was like, oh, there's a bin there. There was no help. He was like, yeah, there's a bin there, go and be sick. Um, but you have to just keep going. You've got to find that like mental strength and determination that I think you can build outside of race day. You can build it throughout your life in really hard times. You've got to take that into race day and be like, no matter what, I don't give up, I don't stop, and I dig deep. And I think during the race, your body is telling you, especially when you get to like the last K and the wall balls, your body is like, stop, because we all go hard on that last K. um I think, yeah, it's just something inside you says that you're nearly finished, don't stop, dig deep. And I do that in training, and I take that into race day.
Yeah. Oh man. And then so on the wall balls, when you were about to throw up, what did you do? Just like break it down into smaller sets, or did you just
Yeah,
have a second or
small. When I say smaller sets, I'm talking threes.
yeah. I mean, whatever it takes to not like it's not really
Yeah,
the apart from burpees, it's probably the other movement that's
yeah.
just brutal, isn't it? Up and
Yeah,
down.
and do you know what it is? I absolutely ego ran on the first 1K, and I don't know why I did it, because I'm not the strongest runner. Like, I knew, I don't know why I did it. And my dad was watching me, and I got to the ski. I was second in the ski, and he was like, you've gone too fast, slow it down. I was going as hard as I could on the ski, and I was thinking, oh, why did I do this? So by the time I got to burpees, and actually burpees is one of my strongest stations. Like, me and my partner that I did it with last time, we always laugh, because we're like, we love to get to burpees. And I love burpees in training, but when I got there for my first solo, oh my gosh, like, I felt so much pain. And by the time I got to wall balls, also a station which are actually my favorites, um I got to a place that I'd never ever been before. And yeah, I think I had to take it in threes. by the end. I think I'd done 20 and I got to 10s and I was like, okay, I'm gonna faint or I'm gonna be sick. I just gotta do it in threes. I had a really great judge. He messaged me on Instagram afterwards. He was like, thank God you didn't be sick. Thank God I didn't throw up.
At least you know you reached your limit. You couldn't have
Yeah.
you pushed
Oh,
as hard as you can. You know, you
yeah.
crossed the line and you're like, okay, well, yeah, I gave it
Yeah.
everything.
I didn't die, yeah. And when I did it with my partner recently, when I was doing wall balls, because I'm slightly stronger on the wall balls, our split was a bit more in my favour. You know, I did a few more, and I thought it's never going to be as bad as it was last time. Like I can keep going, I can keep going.
Literally, that was something I was going to ask. I was going to say, did you find the doubles easier now as well because you'd done the solo? Like,
Yeah,
did it
for sure.
reframe your mind? I guess that whole mental game,
Without
like
a
you
doubt.
said, you've done it all
Without a
yourself.
doubt.
So then when you've got somebody else there.
Yeah, I think doing a solo Hyrox will reframe anybody's mind because everything's on you, you know. I think when I first started, say I was in like the second, third K of the solo, I was thinking, I don't know if I can do this. Like, I don't know if I have the mental strength to for the next however long do all of this on my own. That it can feel quite, you know, isolating. And by the time I finished it and I got through it, when I then went into the doubles, I was like, I can do all of this by myself. So the fact that I've got somebody else with me who's really strong and really fast, like this is brilliant. And I think that's probably why I enjoyed it more. Because I had like a little tick in my mind that no matter what, it's going to go well.
Yeah. So interesting, isn't it, when you change it up and then you go back? And then how you talked a little bit about how you split the wall balls. How did you split some of the other stations? Like you said you're both good at burpees. Did you do it's just always interesting to hear how like doubles split their races and
Yeah,
work out their strategy.
I think it's so funny, isn't it? Because before you go into a race, you're so set on exactly what you're going to do. And because I'd raced, because I'd raced with this partner a couple of times, we were so like, right, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. And then, you know, when you get into it, sometimes you do need to adapt whilst you're out there. And we were really good at that. We've got great communication when we're running, and I think it's just that little glance or that little no, you take this, you know, I think I've done 3 with Faye. So we've got that really good communication. She's an absolute machine on the farmers carries. Like I don't even get a break. I'm running behind her. She's a machine on it. So I was like, look, you take the farmers carries, it's fine. And then we just knew on wall balls I took more on the row. I find the ergs quite tough. I do, again, with the, you know, the cardiovascular fitness, I find the ergs tough. Anything strength based I find easier. So we know how we're going to split it, but we did do pretty much everything equally other than the wall balls and the carry.
Yeah, no, it is interesting. Like, and you got to play to your strengths, don't you? Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then what about, I guess, the pressure? Like, do you feel like being in the public eye that you put more pressure on yourself when you do go into these situations, or do you find because Hyrox is it's a sport for everybody, and the nice thing about it is you can never tell where anyone is in the race unless you're specifically watching that person from start to finish. But for example, we saw you running around the track. Well, we didn't know whether you were on run number like 1 or run number 7. Like, so it's quite nice in that sense. But do you go into these situations like feeling pressure, or do you put pressure on yourself?
I think being it more in the public eye now, I feel split with it, really. When I did my solo, Married at First Sight was being aired, and when I was running round, I heard Married at First Sight. I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. You feel like you're in your own little bubble. And then I was like, oh no, people recognize me and this is crazy. So I definitely felt more pressure, probably to be a bit more composed and, you know, but then at the same time, I have so many messages from people, particularly women. My following is women. And I have so many people that say, you've inspired me to get into fitness, and they're at a real beginner's level and have inspired them just to do something. And I think, gosh, that no matter how I compete, no matter what my results are, no matter what I do, that's enough for me, because I think I've done something that makes you've changed your life because of you've seen me do something. That's all I ever need. So I love the fact that I'm showing people that you can do it sort of no matter what. So yeah, I do feel the pressure, but I don't necessarily feel the pressure to perform at a really elite level, and that's fine with me. I feel the pressure to show people what's going on in my life, because I want to be relatable to every woman out there. So I feel that pressure, but it's a really nice pressure to feel. It's just kind of
Yeah.
crazy when someone shouts married at first sight when you're running around the track.
Yeah. And
But
then you're doing
also really
burpees and
nice.
you're like
Yeah,
sweating and your hair's everywhere and you're
I'm like,
trying to
don't
sort
look
yourself
at me.
out.
Yeah. I think I realised on the lunges this time that there was a bit of a group of people at the front, and I looked up and they were like, yeah, come on back. And I was thinking, I don't know you, but then I was thinking, you know me, but that was a really, really nice feeling. And there was a group of girls that I saw every single time I ran, and they were shouting louder and louder for me on each run. And I thought, God, this is crazy, but it's so lovely as well. It's so nice. And then they always reach out to me through Instagram afterwards, and that feels so nice, because someone will say, this is my first Hyrox, or this is my 10th Hyrox, and I saw you today. And it's just such a nice feeling. It's such a community, Hyrox, and to take Married at First Sight, or me, into that is it's brilliant. It's a lovely feeling.
Yeah, it's a very supportive sport. Like
Mm.
everyone just wants everyone to do well. I think everyone kind of knows everyone's going through the same, like everyone's suffering. Everyone knows
Yeah.
all that you're about to come up to the burpees or whatever. And if you recognize someone, I feel like everybody, whether it's a friend or whether it's like, for example, seeing somebody off TV that you don't really know, but you feel like you know them. Because I feel like
Yeah.
everyone feels like they know you, but you're probably
Yeah.
like, what the hell? But then you want to cheer that person on because you're like, fair play, like get out there,
Yeah.
get after it. It's
Yeah.
cool. It's awesome to see.
And then another thing I wanted to ask about was if you had any beauty tips or makeup tips for race day. Everyone likes to get like glammed up, or have their outfit, their hair, their makeup. And I didn't know if you had any secret tips that you could share with people that help you look so good and composed on race
Oh,
day.
bless you. Do you know what people always say? I think, gosh, this is terrible, but I think because I have treatments done to my face. I'm an aesthetics nurse and I have Botox. People always go, you don't sweat, your face doesn't sweat. And I'm like, it's just because I've got Botox. Everywhere else sweats. What did you say, sorry?
Botox stops your face sweating?
It can do, yeah. It can affect the sweat glands. So
There you
I
go,
find
then.
that like this part of
Need
my face
that.
is nice, is dry. Everything else is sweaty. But I think I know, don't get me wrong, I've done Hyroxes where I've felt like I need a new outfit and I need to match with, my shorts or my sports bra. I think for me now, I'm like, let's wear black and let's wear bright trainers because we do sweat so much. So um for a lot of people and for a lot of ladies, and I appreciate this, is that that's all part of it. You want to go there, you want to stand out, you want to be matching with your partner. And I think we pay so much to be there, we pay so much to travel to these places, and our lives are dedicated to it. Why not make yourself feel great? Why not bring that side of your life into it too? It doesn't have to be, we don't wear any makeup and we tie our hair back and that's it. Like, let's have fun with it and make a day of it. And I am such an advocate of doing whatever makes you feel good, whether that's makeup or injectables like myself, whatever it is that makes you feel good, do it for yourself. And if that's wearing like a nice coloured outfit and a new pair of trainers for Hyrox, then yeah, go for it. Beauty tips for me, I always like my hair slick back. Like, obviously I'm like that today. Like, I'm such a slick back girly. I need my hair off my face. Sometimes I see people with like really cute hairdos and I'm like, that's not me. It would be stuck to my face. For me, I like, get it back. But one thing I would say, this product, let me show you this product. This is something that I've used for years. I'll show you it here. Can you see it? It's called Kanzen.
Yeah.
one of the girls from my gym got me into this. This is a spray. This is probably really gross, but it's a spray that you use, like when you're not going to wash your face straight after exercise. So, like, I think because our skin will hold so much bacteria. Like every part of your body can hold bacteria when you start sweating, and especially when you're doing something like Hyrox or you're in a gym. If you can't wash straight away, spray this on. I spray it like all over my chest, all over my back, just to help like any breakouts and things. That's like my number one gym girl beauty product. I know some people have used it for like I was speaking to a lady and she was like she uses it for her like son who's got like back knee, and it's really worked for him. And I think, yeah, it just feels like you're cleansing your skin. And I use it all the time after I've trained. So that would be my number one beauty hack if you're a gym girly.
Oh, love that. I've not heard of that one. So yeah, definitely. Thank you very much. We're
Do you
always
use
for that.
something for your hair for the slick, like to slick it back?
Yeah, I
Use
use
like
a
a slick
wax
stick.
stick.
Wax stick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'll be somewhere here on my dressing table. It's got no label on it, but this is what I use. You can get these like anywhere. I'm
Yeah.
such a wax stick girly. And a slick back brush, but yeah, hair out the face 100%.
Yeah. I agree. I
I'd
don't know
rather
how
be
people do
bald.
it. Yeah, yeah,
It'd be so
literally.
much easier to do a Hyrox bald without the hair.
I
I
don't
think
know
I did
how.
one in plaits once and I felt like that wasn't right. Like it's just, but although sometimes I see the photos and I'm like, why have I done my hair like that? Like it's just face. But it is what it is.
It's hard though, isn't it? Because it's not the kind of it's not the kind of event. I mean, a running event, like you could probably get away with it, but it's not the kind of event you're going up and down for burpees. Your like
Yeah.
head's moving up and down on the ski. Like anytime you, yeah, I've got too much hair. I like everything
Oh,
out my
oh, there's
face.
never too much hair. I cut my hair short this year, so for you to say that you've got too much hair, I'm like, no, you no, I think, yeah, I think it when you feel nice and you look nice and you look put together. Like sometimes I go to the gym and I look in the mirror, I'm like, oh my goodness me, like how have I gone out the house looking like this? But I think when you're competing and you want to be in that strong mindset, putting yourself together before you start a race, as I say, whether it's a cute outfit or your hair done a certain way or your makeup done a certain way, go for it. Good for you. So and we're all different, aren't we? I know some people go to Hyrox and they just want no makeup on because they want the skin to be able to breathe and they want to wash straight away, and that's so cool as well. So yeah, whatever makes you feel good.
Yeah,
Hmm.
no, love
Yeah,
that.
feel good race. And you said about oh sorry, you said about
No, no.
bright trainers. I was just going to hone in on the trainers. What trainers do you race high rocks in?
They're actually behind me. My trainer collection's behind me, but my favorite are actually the New Balance Fuel Cell.
Oh,
I know Rogue. I've had Pumas. I've got some Nike. What are they called? I don't even know what they're called behind me. I raced recently in the bright orange ones, the Nike ones. I didn't love them as much as the New Balance Fuel Cell. I'm going to get some more of those because I've raced them to death and they're on the
mm,
last legs. But um, I find that they're more comfortable. I think I even raced a 10K in them, and I think it's
mm.
quite a rogue decision, but I felt so much more comfortable in them. So I was looking at somebody else's podcast. I'll have to send it to you, but I was looking at a podcast and like so much was about trainers. So I was
Yeah,
going through it. I was like, right, I'm going to buy those, buy those. It's a thing we do, isn't it? Like we
yeah.
love new trainers.
I feel like anyone comes round like to the house and everyone's like, "Why have you got so many trainers?" And you're like, "You don't quite
Yeah.
understand. Like, I need these for the gym. These are carbon, so I can't wear them all the time. These are for like trail running. These are for easy runs. Like,
Literally,
it's
yeah,
so running."
literally. I had a pair of trainers out the other day, and my girlfriend was like, "Oh, I was like, "I can't. They're trail trainers. Like, I can't wear those. Like, they're trail. As if I go trail running, and I don't." It was all different. Like, yeah, behind me, lifting trainers, just trainers just to go to the gym. I've got marathon trainers that I've done a half marathon in there. Hyrox ones. Like, there's so many different types, isn't there? But it's fun. It's nice to wear them, and I love a bright trainer with a black outfit for Hyrox.
Oh, there you
Yeah,
go.
no.
I think the
Yeah,
black
that's
outfit just hides the sweat in unfortunate places. So,
yeah.
doesn't it?
So true.
Practical and stylish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what about as a like female athlete? Is there anything that you do or take like maybe vitamins wise, or is there any kind of certain times of the month that you try and up anything in particular, or are you kind of pretty standard and just try and get your training in and fuel well, like
Yeah, yeah. I think supplement wise, I'm pretty standard and pretty consistent. So, creatine's huge for me. I've taken creatine probably for the last, don't know, 3 4 years consistently. I find it just, there's so much research out there about creatine, isn't there? It's one of the most tested supplements, and I would say to anybody who's training, females particularly, look into it. I take collagen. I've taken that since I was 30, not necessarily because of training, but I just, especially because of the industry that I'm in, I know a lot about collagen and how our collagen depletes as we get older. So I take a collagen supplement every day, magnesium in the evening. For females, it's so important. And then I just supplement in terms of like B12, vitamin D, multivitamins, etc. So I am really consistent with everything that I take. But I do feel like my nutrition's on point, and I think that goes hand in hand. I'd say probably over the last 2 to 3 years, I've really sort of knuckle down on what works for me and what works for my training. And I am very balanced. I wouldn't say that I'm overly strict with myself. I don't restrict anything. Like, I've had periods of time in my life when I was a lot younger, especially when I worked as a model, that I would really restrict my diet because I was trying to be as small as I possibly could be. And it had such a detrimental effect mentally, but also a detrimental effect physically. For example, I lost my period at that time. And I think now, because of the training that I do, I'm happy to take up the space. I'm happy to be strong and whatever size that means I am. But yeah, as I say, with my nutrition, I feel like I know exactly what works for me, what works for my training, and I find it easy now because I've done it for such a long time.
yeah.
Yeah,
No,
we get some.
yeah, it's important to like find what works for you, and then it kind of just like becomes normal, doesn't it? And you get into your routine, and then you know the signs of when you maybe need to take on a bit more, or you're a
Yeah,
bit depleted in something. Yeah, no. And do you, I mean, you're obviously very busy. You're juggling lots of things. Do you like meal prep, or how do you even fit like your training in? Are you an early morning girl, or you're an evening trainer? Like, how do
yeah.
you fit everything into your life?
I'm an evening trainer, like anything from sort of like midday onwards into the evening, because I need to feel fueled. I tend to fast in the morning, and I don't have a strict amount of hours that I fast for. I just find that that works better for me because I like to eat later into the evening. And maybe if my training was earlier in the day, my life would change with that, but it just works for me. I find I can train much harder in the evening when I'm really fueled. Um, so I don't meal prep. Sometimes I might meal prep the day before and then eat that the day after, but I don't do like a 5 day meal prep. It's just not for me. And I think because I work from home, and I manage my schedule. I'm not out the house from like 9 till 5 or whatever. Because I'm at home, I have the ability and the luxury of being able to eat intuitively and eat like fresh meals at home. So I feel lucky that I can do that. But yeah, I tend to find evening for everything is better for me. My brain's alive in the evening. I would love to be a morning trainer and I'd love to be a morning person, but I'm not.
We were,
I
we were
never have been.
Yeah, we had the discussion, me and Faye, last night though, because like we're complete opposites for I guess like when our brain's most awake. Like Faye's really good at working in the morning. Like she could get up at 6 and like and do like training plans, work on the laptop. But I would be much better at doing it in the evening. I'm like still
Yeah.
half asleep. I can't do it. But I could work till like 9, 10 at night and still be like on it. So it's interesting that everyone's just wired differently.
Yeah, and I think maybe is it that we're wired differently, or is it that we've just trained ourselves to be a certain way? Because I can imagine if I spent, however long getting up at a certain time in the morning and training a certain time in the morning and getting my brain active at that time, would my body fall in line with that? Have
Yeah.
you and I have trained ourselves to be the other way? I don't know.
Yeah. Trained myself to press snooze on my alarms while I
Yeah. Maybe. I don't know. Because I've spoken to so many people and they say, well, I wake up at 5:30, 6 in the morning for my job. So on a day off, I'll wake up at 5:30, 6 in the morning anyway, because my body's so used to it. Maybe that's just what our bodies do. There'll be so much science behind it that I don't know about. So I wouldn't dare to talk about it, but I can guess that maybe that's the case. Maybe I'm not a morning person because I tell myself I'm not a morning person and my life is in the evening. I don't know.
It's okay though if it works for you, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
you don't have to
Yeah.
get up in the morning. If you can train at night and it works, then make
Yeah,
it
and I
work for you.
feel I feel so strong in the evening, mentally and physically. And as I say, I think it's because I fuel well by that
Mm.
time in the day. But I just feel like I've got it in me to, and sometimes as well, like I'll take a pre-workout in the evening and I can still fall asleep like that. And some people are like, gosh, I could never do that amount of caffeine. I'm fine, so it just works for me.
Different people, isn't it? And
Yeah.
can I ask like we're not really going to talk about Married at First Sight, but I'm
Okay.
intrigued only because when we watch it, everyone always goes, "Oh, I was down the gym the other day," or "We went to the gym together." Did you get loads of time to go and train while you were on that, or
No, I don't think this
no?
is something I've really spoken about much, so I'm glad you asked the question.
It
But
just intrigues me because I think
yeah,
like, oh, can you train while you're there, or
you can't. So the apartment block that we lived in is obviously just an apartment block dedicated to Married at First Sight cast and crew. So there's no, general public in there. And in the apartment block, which was gorgeous, we had a brand new gym, like on the lower ground. Um, but it was basic. And sometimes, so don't get me wrong, sometimes we had days off, sometimes we could train in, early morning, late in the evening. Sometimes we're filming for 16, 17 hours a day. Our call time is at 7 o'clock in the morning, and at that time you need to be camera ready. So we'd have to wake up hours earlier to get makeup done and stuff like that. Um, and then if you're filming for 16, 17 hours, the last thing that you want to do when you get back to the apartment is go to the gym. And also we might be up early the next day. So sometimes life was completely dedicated to filming. So we would go days upon days upon days without training. And then sometimes we had more opportunity to train. I think a lot of us found normality in the gym. I was really close to Leah in the show, who lived next door to me, and we both had a shared interest in the gym, and that's where we would go and we'd see the other girls and we'd have a good time. And we found when you're in that environment that is so unfamiliar and strange and new to you, you find those little moments of normality, and the gym was one of them for me. But with that being said, the lifestyle in MAFS completely took over my life, and I lost the training side of my life. Absolutely. I put on quite a bit of weight when I was there. I definitely lost muscle mass. I felt so much more unhealthy being in the show. Even though we had the gym, it filming took over. It absolutely took over. But I do think you hear a lot of like, oh, we were down the gym.
yeah. It's like, oh, when we were in the gym, we were talking the other day, or someone told me this, and
Yeah.
I'm like, I've always just been like, oh, I wonder how often they get to the gym. And then
Do
I
you
was
know
like, is
what?
it a gym you can choose to go to, or yeah, it's an apartment block gym that
Yeah,
you're
it's
not.
apartment block gym. Yeah, and I think what the reason that we probably always said that is because there was no cameras in the gym. So when we were in the gym, we'd
Yeah.
have chats where we're like, "Oh my gosh, this has happened, and what do you think about this?" And we didn't have a camera in our face, so we was probably always really open and honest and vulnerable with each other, and tried to hash things out off camera in the gym. Arguments sometimes happened in the gym, or people come in and they were crying over something that had happened because we felt safe in the gym. That's so nice, isn't it, really, when I look back and think about that we had a safe space within the gym. But yeah, it wasn't one of those places that we spent all of our time because we couldn't. What I did miss was the group community feeling of going to a
Sure.
class, and we couldn't do that where we were living. I walked past somewhere one day and there was a class going on, and I don't know what type of class it was, but I was like, oh my gosh, I wish I could go to that. But we weren't allowed because one, we didn't have our phones to book anything. We didn't know any times that things were going on, and we couldn't go to that type of setting, because people might ask why we're there and what we're doing, and we weren't allowed to tell anyone why we were in that area. So we weren't ever allowed to do anything like that whilst we were there. And I was there for nearly like 3-4 months, so it was a long time away from that type of training that I've been so used to.
I think I like just me putting myself in your shoes. If you went from being somebody that goes to the gym all the time and have your routine, and you do, and then you go into that, and I know it's like probably a really exciting, extraordinary opportunity that you'll throw yourself into, but it's quite hard to get away and not be able to train for like 3-4 months. That's
Yeah,
when it's
yeah,
such a big part of your life. It's
yeah,
actually quite
exactly.
fun.
It was, yeah, I think I was really split between wanting to throw myself into the experience as much as I could, and accepting that the training part of my life wasn't going to look the same, but also then thinking, hang on a minute, I'm not here for 2 weeks. Like I've been here for months and months now, and I don't ever want to lose that part of myself. I think when I got back from the show and I was at home, don't get me wrong, it takes time to adjust into normal life again, but that was such a big priority for me. I was like, I need to get back into fitness as I know it at home as a priority. Yes, to lose the weight that I'd put on, but more so just to feel like myself again, and to feel strong and to feel structured. That's absolutely what I missed when I was there. But it was a real battle mentally for me. I think the show was really supportive as well. Like I think I spoke to one of the welfare girls at one point and was like, look, I want to train more. She was like, no problem, like we'll make your call time tomorrow later so that you can go to the gym in the morning. They were supportive with it, but it's a TV show and we were under pressure to film, so I
Yeah.
did feel split.
And you
Yeah, because
couldn't
when you
say like I usually train in the afternoon, evening. So
Yeah.
if you could organise
Have to
that, that'd
stop
be much
filming
better.
it, like, yeah, we'll stop filming at 4 or 5 because I need to train.
Yeah,
No.
yeah. I don't really train in the morning, so that's not
Yeah.
really going to work for me.
Yeah. Yeah, you can give me an extra hour, but I'll probably be in bed. So
Yeah.
yeah, funny. But no, they were supportive, but as supportive as you can be when there's a job to do. That was our main focus, and I appreciated that. So
yeah, no, absolutely. And is there any like kind of not a bucket list, but is there any other like fitness events or races or things in the fitness world that you kind of want to give a go or tick off?
well, I've only ever competed in Hyroxes in the UK. But next month I'm going to Bangkok. So I'm really excited for that. So there's quite a few of us that are going from the gym that I go to. We're going there for a couple of weeks. So we're spending some time in Koh Samui first of all. And we'll be training every day, like-minded people, very much into the fitness space. We're all competing in Bangkok, but also we're all good friends now. I've found that community of people that I love to do things with outside of Hyrox and training. Anyway, so we're all going for a couple of weeks, and at the very end of the trip, we're spending 3-4 days in Bangkok. So I'm doing open solo and also do my first relay, so 2 guys and myself and a girl. So I'm really excited for the relay because I feel like that's where my skills may lie. That sort of fast pace. I'm going to be doing wall balls, and I think I'm on push, sled push, and I feel like that's where my skills will lie, so I'm really excited for that.
Oh, that's so good. I just did my first relay in Manchester actually, and
Nice.
yeah, I loved it. I mean, painful. It's like
Really,
because it's just
so
an all
fast.
out, yeah.
Yeah,
But it was so much fun, and to share it with a group and to do the like tag the next person, like
yeah.
it's just a really nice like way to do it and experience. So
Yeah, I'm really excited for that. I'm excited to see how, like, for it to be split up in that way. And as you say, like that little tag, I'm like, you go. And yeah, I'm really excited for that part of it. And it's because it's something that obviously I've been in the high rock space for a while, but I've never, I don't know, for one reason or another, never done a relay. So I can't wait for that. I'm really excited. But 2 days before I am doing the solo, so
And are you going to go out as hot this time, or have you got a new strategy
I
to?
mean, I will absolutely fall to the back in that first K. I'm not gonna. Do you know what? As well, I don't know. It's ego, isn't it? It's such ego. But on my first, when I did my solo, I was at the front of the start line. I'm thinking I was pushing my way to the front. I was like the worst runner there. But yeah, absolutely will not go out as hot. Obviously I don't know what the course is like in Bangkok. It's going to be so much warmer. We're going to have a couple of weeks, little things that I think about. Like I'm going to have a couple of weeks beforehand not eating the way that I do at home. All of that's got to, you've got to take all that into consideration. I'm going to be traveling for nearly a day to get there 2 weeks before. All of that will have an impact. So, we'll see how it goes. I'm excited for it though, that I'm going to be competing somewhere else other than the UK.
Yeah, it'd be so cool. Some of the like the races across the world, like Europe and even the ones in like APAC region, they're just different. I think
Yeah.
they're just a bit smaller as well. They're a bit more
Hmm.
intimate because they haven't got so big yet. So it's quite
Yeah.
cool to be able to use it as like a holiday and go. At least you'll have time to acclimatize if you're going out 2 weeks
Yeah,
before. Like you won't
exactly.
get hit by the heat and humidity, hopefully. But
Yeah, hopefully by that time I'll be used to it. I think it's having that balance, isn't it? Because we are treating it as a holiday, but we have plans because of where we're going and who we're going with. We've got plans to train every day in a certain way. We've got things like you can have massages whilst we're there, and there's like a recovery place that we're going to go to. So it's focused on training, but also I've never been to Thailand before, so I do want to experience what it has to offer as a holiday. So just finding that right balance.
yeah, you can get to the venue in a tuk-tuk
Yeah.
instead of a taxi. That'll be
Exactly.
wild.
Yeah, if you see me on my Instagram, you're like, oh, she's done that.
Yeah, you've
She's done
got
in
to
the
do it. I
tuk-tuk.
feel like that'll be such a good arrival to the venue.
So yeah, I've got that planned. I don't have any more booked. Possibly thinking about doing Cardiff. And then I do at some point want to do pro weights, I think, because I feel like that's where my skills would lie. However, it's then going into the run even more compromised. So yeah, I think maybe that's on the cards this year. And I think where I'm at with it is that, like, I've done 5. I always go into them accepting that I'm not in the elites. I'm not going to place first, second, third. I think the closest I ever came to it was like 13th. And I never go into it thinking I'm racing to win. And I think that's what makes it really enjoyable for me. Like I said to you earlier, I've got that type of personality that if I said to myself, I'm going to really go for this to the point where I want to win, I would be so obsessed with it that it would take over my life. And where my life is at the moment, especially this year, life has become so busy and so different. I have other focuses. I have to have other focuses. My life can't be dedicated to it maybe in the way that somebody else's life could. So yes, I'll still be booking things this year and still training in a certain way, but it has to be a balance for me. And that's where I've always been at, and that's where I'll be at this year. But as I say, maybe I'll do pro this year, and then maybe next year, if life becomes a little bit quieter, I can really, really hit it hard. We'll see.
Yeah,
And
it's an important message though, because I think, with social media as well, like you see a lot of other people's journeys and how people train and what they're doing, and it can be sometimes hard not to say, oh, I should do more, or I should be training more often, or put more into it. But like it depends what's going on in your life. Like everyone's different, and you have to do what's best for you, and still enjoy it. Like you say, if you become so like focused on it and put so much pressure on it, then maybe you take away that love from it as well.
Yeah,
So
for sure. And I think it's what you've just said, you've hit the nail on the head. Like, I follow so many fitness influencers, or whatever you want to call them, people that are in the fitness space. And I know quite a lot of people that are in the fitness space, and their life is dedicated to it because maybe they do that as a job, full time, or they create content within the gym because they're a PT and their entire life is focused on that. And I don't put myself into that category with them, because that isn't my life. I am very much an everyday athlete. I don't even know if I class myself as an athlete. I wouldn't put that label on myself necessarily. So when I go into training, or when I go into race day, I don't look at it in that way, and I think that takes the pressure off a little bit. There might be a time, like I say, that I do look at it with a different set of eyes, and I say, okay, I'm gonna fight as much as I can for a place on a podium, maybe. But that's not where I'm at right now. And I think a lot of people, if I ever speak to patients of mine or friends or family, they go, I couldn't do a Hyrox. And I think it's because they look at certain people that are in that really elite level group and think I could never be that. And I say to them, well, I'm not that, but I've done 5. Anybody can do a Hyrox. Anybody can start training or exercising in a way, it doesn't even have to be Hyrox, in a way that they love. And I think that's what I would want to inspire people to do because of my journey. Like, I've been in the Hyrox space for a while and I've competed in 5, but I've never stood on a podium, and that's okay. That's absolutely fine.
It's actually the majority. Like it's like
Yeah.
really, really small. It's a minority to get on the podiums and be the elite 15 and be doing the
Yeah.
majors, and like but it's what everyone sees when they think of Hyrox,
Exactly.
or if they write
Yeah.
Hyrox into Google or something, it's what comes up. It's not. You need to
100%.
almost go to an event, don't you? Like you said, you went to Glasgow the first time and you were inspired. It's almost like encouraging people to come and watch it and just see.
Yeah.
You see everybody doing it for hours all day for
Yeah.
multiple days.
All different types of people, different ages, obviously different mentalities, different shapes and sizes and different levels. And I think I've had people that have messaged me on Instagram, if I've put like a little question box out about fitness, so many people say, how do I get into Hyrox? And my advice is always, number one, to find your community, like find a group of people that are like-minded, because let's be honest, when you do Hyrox, you make it your entire personality. It's all you talk about. It's all you spend your money on. You're like, oh, you're a Hyroxer. A bit like a CrossFitter. We're like, oh, CrossFitters. Let's not start that debate. But I think finding your community and then going to a Hyrox event as a spectator, you realise that no matter who you are and what you do, you're welcome. You, as you say, like, you can type it into Google or into Instagram, and instantly somebody with an athletic physique who's standing on a podium will pop up, and they are the minority, and it can be quite daunting and quite maybe off-putting to people that have never done it before, to think, well, I'm not welcome in that space, or I don't look like that person, so maybe I shouldn't even give it a go. But actually, Hyrox is the complete opposite of that. Everybody's welcome, everybody's at a different level, and that's the beauty of it.
Yeah, 100%. Would you because you've mentioned your dad a couple of times, would you ever do one with your dad? Would he do a Hyrox, or is he has he done one?
No, he's not done one. He's always been into fitness, my dad. He ran marathons when I was younger and played rugby, and always been an inspiration to me when it comes to fitness. And he's always been the person in my life that's encouraged it. So he took me to the track when I was younger. I actually remember going and crying. I was at the track like, I don't want to do it. And then my dad was like, no, you're going to be great. And it was something that I really fell in love with. And encouraged me in every part of my life. I was really into musical theatre when I was younger, and it was my dad that pushed me forwards. And so he's always been somebody that I've really looked up to in that way. And I think then roles reversed a little bit as I got into Hyrox, that he became inspired by what I was doing. And again, it was all new to him. And he's been to see loads of the events that I've done. He's watched me in half marathons, and he's been to Hyroxes, and he's always supported me. So I said to him last year, I was like, look, Dad, we're going to do a Hyrox together. And I think he had like 6 months to really train for it. But just before the Hyrox, he fell ill. He's absolutely fine now, but he fell ill just before the Hyrox, so we couldn't compete together. That's why my friend Faye stepped in. So yeah, we still have plans to do one together, hopefully. Maybe sometime this year or next year, we'll see. But I'd love to do one with my dad.
Yeah, that's
It'd be
awesome. Oh,
so
I'm sorry you
good.
fell ill. That's so annoying. It's always when you've trained really hard as well and you're right at the
Yeah.
end of the block, isn't it? It's never
Yeah, he was
right at the
training so
beginning.
hard.
You've
Yeah.
done all the training and then it
Yeah.
hits you. But
Yeah.
hopefully with even that beforehand, having that training block in and you'll be keen to get back to it and you can maybe make
Yeah.
a little trip of it and go and do an abroad one somewhere and
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think it's so nice. And I think that's the beauty of it, that if I was doing it with my dad, we're not going to be looking for a particular time. We're just going to be accepting that, like, we're doing this together. How many people can say that they've completed something like that with the dad? My dad's 62, so how many people of that age can say I went into a Hyrox and I completed it? And I think that's, yeah, it's a lovely thing. So hopefully we can do it together.
Oh, fingers crossed. Yeah, we'll be looking out for it. Well, that probably kind of rounds us off nicely for me to ask you the final question, unless you've got anything else you want to sneak in for
No,
me
no, it's been
or
so
Steph.
nice. Yeah,
No,
I
yeah.
just the only thing I wanted to ask quickly was
Well,
I know you said about not being a fitness influencer and things like that, but have you got any plans for anything in the fitness space like down the line or no?
I
Only
don't
because you're so
know.
passionate about it. I feel like it's
I
almost like
am.
a like would it
Do
be
you
and you're
know?
inspiring a lot of people. I just wondered if you did have plans. You don't have to share if you do. I was
I,
just intrigued.
yeah, I mean, I'm so open about everything that's going on in my life. I don't have any plans necessarily to I think whatever comes my way, if I feel like aligned to it and I feel like, it's right for me, that I would grab it with both hands. And definitely the fitness space, when it comes to how I show up online, that's, there's a real focus on fitness for me. um I don't think I'll ever go into anything, personal training wise or anything like that. I see a lot of people that have gone from like TV roles into something like that. They've got plans online, or, they personal train. I don't think that's for me. I think I always want to make sure that my presence online is to show anybody at any stage in their life, especially women, that you can do whatever it is that you want to do. And I hope that I do that because of fitness. Um, I have a big following of women, especially over 30. I'm 33 now myself, don't have children. I try and advocate for, no matter what age you are, you can do anything. I think that's where my presence will lie, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know is my honest answer. I don't know, but I know exactly what it is that I want to continue to do online.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that makes like complete sense. Yeah, and I think
Yeah.
you're right. You're staying true to yourself and true
Yeah.
to your values and what you want to share. And I mean,
Yeah.
you're doing it anyway. You're inspiring people by just sharing what you do, so it's working.
Oh, thank you. I think it's tough because I have a completely separate life too, the way I show up online and show the fitness side of my life is a part of it, but I've got so much more going on as well. I have a full-time job as a aesthetics nurse in my clinic, and that's a big part of my life. And you'll see lots of other things, through Instagram and stuff like that. That's part of my life too. So fitness and Hyrox and fitness influencing has to fit into that as well. And I think sometimes that'll be the biggest focus in my life, and sometimes it'll just be a small part. It'll always have that undercurrent, but I just don't know how it'll show up in the next few years.
Yeah, no, it makes total sense. But on to the last question.
Yeah, you can do it now.
Yeah, is that allowed? Sorry.
Yeah, that's fine.
Excuse me, is what message or advice would you give to your younger self or the next generation of girls coming up?
This is such a nice question. It's so good. I feel like it's so, aligned with what I'm like, what I'm trying to say to people. I think I speak to a lot of women because my life is filled with women. Like, I see patients every day. Like 90% of my client base are female, and friends, family, etc. I'm surrounded by women all the time. And I think when we get to a certain age, we always tend to like look back and reminisce about things that we've done in the past that made us feel like ourselves that we no longer do. For example, like somebody will say, "Oh, I used to play netball in high school and then went into uni, but I don't do it anymore because I've got kids." But that's something that made them tick, and it got them going. And it's always that regretful chat that they have, and they're like, I can't do that anymore. Or, I've got this new job in this place, so I can't do my arts and crafts anymore, or whatever it is that they loved. My advice to young girls, or my advice to anybody, the next generation, would be, if there is something that you love doing, no matter what it is, whether it's sports or something else, stick with it. Absolutely stick with it, and don't let life take over to the point where you lose that, because it's such a regretful feeling. And if there is something that gets you going and something that you're passionate about, I mean, don't get me wrong, it is so easy to let life take over. We need to earn money, we've got houses, jobs, families, but if you could just have a little snippet of that thing that you did when you were younger that really made you feel something, and you could take that into later life, just do it. I've got friends, like I say, that I've got a particular friend who played netball in school, and she lost that, and she didn't do it anymore, and now she plays netball once a week, and it's like that special time in her week that makes her feel like herself again, and it's only an hour. So I would just say, my advice would be, sorry I'm going on, but my advice would be, whatever it is that you love to do, keep hold of that, no matter whether it's not fashionable anymore or there's a new trend coming out. Keep hold of what it is that you love and try and do it for the rest of your life.
Yeah, love that.
That's
Yeah,
very
such
good.
a good answer. Yeah, no, and it's so true. It is so true. And like it's that little something that you keep doing for you. I think it's really
Yeah.
important.
I think
Yeah.
we can go on to later life and look back and be so regretful that we lost it, and it could just be that we do these things in such a small capacity as a hobby. Some people do these things that they love and they take it into jobs, and that's great, but life can so easily take over. And I think we've got to remember what makes us feel like us and do it as much as we can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and not feeling guilty about it either, because people always
Yeah,
feel guilty if they put themselves first, I guess. But yeah, putting
especially
yourself
women.
first
Yeah,
yeah, it seems to be a big thing. And yeah, I don't know, like women and mums, and they feel guilty
yeah,
if they put themselves before everyone else. But sometimes you need to do that, like you said, even if it's just an hour a week, it just, yeah, revitalizes you and keeps you
yeah.
remember.
And I think it keeps you in such a good mental headspace that, like, I can't speak on behalf of mums, because I'm not a mum. All of my friends have got children, and we've spoken so much about mum guilt, that you do take that little hour, I don't know, every day, every week for yourself. You have mum guilt because you're not focusing or dedicating that time to your children. But, and maybe I'm speaking out of turn here because I don't have children, but I think dedicating that time to doing something that makes you a better person surely in turn makes you a better parent. Otherwise, just constantly on that wheel, of feeling less and less like ourselves. So taking that little bit of time out, I think, will benefit every part of your life, if
Yeah.
if you can. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Even a better partner or better
Yeah,
daughter or anything, isn't it? It just helps
for
you. I
sure.
mean, you probably feel the same as a fitness like addict as well. Like if you don't go to the gym, and this is why I was wondering about the married at first sight. But then if you go, if you're having a bad day or if it's everything stressful, once you come out, you're like, oh, actually, it's not that bad. Like I've just been for a run, or I've
Yeah,
just been to the gym, and now I'm in a good mood, and it's like totally
yeah.
reframes everything, doesn't it,
It
for you?
really, really does. I think I've spent times where I've walked into the gym crying because something's going on in my life that you can't hold the tears back, and I'll come out of the gym. Don't get me wrong, I still might be in a low place, but I'll come out the gym feeling better. I'm feeling like I can achieve more and I can tackle whatever it is, or just feeling a little bit clearer, having that amount of time to focus on my body and to really tune into how I'm feeling. I've been to like yoga, for example, and be in more of a meditative state when I felt low, and then come out of that feeling like I can tackle whatever it is that's going on in my life. And I also think that, you know, when you put yourself through hard physical things, that makes you feel a certain way about yourself mentally, and vice versa. Because sometimes I'll go into the gym and think, well, if I got through that I've just been through for the past week, I can absolutely do this workout. Like, this is nothing, you know? And then vice versa, I think to myself, well, I've just done that workout and that was so hard. I can tackle this situation with this person that I need to talk to. Like, I can do this. It builds resilience and it builds strength.
Yeah, no,
So true.
Well, if anyone doesn't already follow you online, where can they find you? And is there anything else you want to let our listeners know about?
Oh gosh. So obviously I'm on Instagram. I think probably my Instagram's the biggest platform that I'm on. So my Instagram is at bec.fen, bec.fen. So you can find me there. We do have another episode of Married at First Sight coming out, which is the reunion episode. So we filmed that late last year, and I believe it's coming out in March, early March, I believe. We don't have a confirmed date for it yet. And I think it is just a one-off episode. So you'll see me on the TV then, but other than that, yeah, it'll just be online and just more and more. Yeah, there's so many things that I've got coming up. I'm working with really cool brands that I've always been interested in working with, and now I've got the opportunity to work with them, some that are in the fitness space, and I just think I feel so lucky and so grateful that that's part of my life now. So yeah, just watch this space.
Oh, amazing. Well, thank you so much. It's been an
Thank
absolute
you.
pleasure chatting to you, and good luck in Bangkok.
Thank you. I'll let you know how I'll get on. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I've loved it. Thank you.
Oh, no, thank you.